I consider Israil the best 154 pounder in the division right now. So why not go for the top guy in the division right off the bat? I want to leave a legacy that's never been left before.
Floyd Mayweather has revealed why Israil Madrimov is going to beat Terence Crawford. Meanwhile, former world champion Antonio Tarver believes that Crawford will need to rely on his technical prowess to overcome Madrimov in their upcoming bout on August 3rd.
Man, you got to take your hat off to Crawford for, stepping up, but also picking and choosing one of the toughest guys in the division. I think Crawford want to make a statement.
Tarver advises against Crawford engaging in a slugfest with Madrimov, describing Madrimov as a formidable puncher with a build akin to Canelo Alvarez, compact, powerful, and standing at 5'8". And he compares Madrimov's power to that of both Canelo and Gennady Golovkin if Crawford decides to engage Madrimov. In a slugfest similar to his bouts against David Avanesyan and Errol Spence Jr., his endurance will likely falter. Crawford isn't equipped to withstand the powerful blows that Madrimov delivers, particularly given his 13-month hiatus and his approaching 37th birthday. Madrimov, unlike Golovkin, opts to keep his distance, launching powerful punches from afar rather than closing in on his opponents. Tarver observes that Madrimov's hand speed is lacking, giving Crawford a potential edge. Nevertheless, Madrimov's speed matches Golovkin, which could allow him to pressure Crawford similarly to David Avanesyan. Despite Avanesyan being an older fringe contender, Crawford still absorbed numerous hits from him. Antonio Tarver, speaking to Fight Hub TV, remarked that one had to commend Terence Crawford for selecting one of the toughest opponents in the division. Tarver believed Crawford aimed to make a statement by moving up to 154 to face WBA junior middleweight champion Israil Madrimov. Known as one of the biggest punchers in the division on August 3rd, Tarver added that Madrimov resembled someone just a few pounds shy of a Canelo build, emphasizing Madrimov's strength, long arms, and unconventional fighting style, switching between left-handed and right-handed with power in both hands.
I mean, when you look at this guy frame, it looks like he's just a few pounds from a Canelo build. You feel me? With his frame. So, but he's going to be a strong guy. His arms are long, from what I see.
Fans doubt it was Crawford's decision to take on Madrimov. That seems more like the brainchild of His Excellency Turki Alec. If Crawford had his way, he would jump directly to a bout with Canelo to secure a big day and then retire. But he needs to put in a bit more effort first. If His Excellency intended to make the challenge extremely difficult, he would have arranged for Crawford to face David Benaidez or David Morrell. Such a task would have been insurmountable for Crawford. Instead, he's been handed a slightly more attainable yet still formidable obstacle by being pitted against Madrimov. Tarver acknowledged Madrimov's power, but expressed confidence in Terence Crawford's versatility and talent. Tarver advised Crawford to avoid engaging directly with Madrimov, suggesting that a solid defensive strategy and avoiding unnecessary shots would enable Crawford to control the fight.
On tape, and then his just the way he fights, it's not real rhythm there, but he just go left-handed, right-handed. He ambidextrous. He got power in both hands. I think one thing he has is power, but I believe Terence just has so many things in his bag. You know what I'm saying? But I think he's gonna have to fight off his talent. Yeah. Let his talent lead him. Don't go in there trying to bang with a banger. You know what I mean? So as long as he can deploy a good defensive strategy, make sure he don't take no unnecessary shots, I think he can control.
Crawford won't be able to dodge a clash with Madrimov, who fights with relentless pressure and unleashes powerful long-range shots. Adding to Crawford's challenges are his increased weight, slower pace, advancing age, and recent inactivity. Numerous factors are stacked against Crawford securing a victory in this bout. If he can't secure a knockout, he's facing a long, grueling match on August 3rd. Crawford won't be up against a worn-out, rusty, weight-depleted, accident-scarred Errol Spence. Tarver further commented that Madrimov lacked speed and quickness, describing him as somewhat plodding. He suggested that Crawford should have a speed advantage over Madrimov. Once Crawford found his rhythm and timing, Tarver believed Crawford would be able to execute his strategy effectively.
Because he's not that fast. He's not that quick. He's not that fast. He's a little plodding almost. So Crawford should have the speed on him. And I think once he finds his rhythm and timing, I think Crawford will be able to do what he...
Madrimov's speed is comparable to Golovkin's. But unlike Golovkin, he doesn't stay close and unleash a barrage of power punches. If the 40-year-old Golovkin who triumphed over Ryota Murata faced Crawford, it would spell trouble for Crawford. Mob's hit and move technique might not be effective against Crawford, but it will hinge on how well Madrimov can withstand Crawford's power. Crawford's challenges may stem from his inactivity age and the transition to a higher weight class. His age and lack of recent activity might be significant hurdles, and he has yet to encounter an opponent with the skill level of Madrimov. The competition Crawford faced at 140 and 147 pounds was subpar, and he didn't go up against any noteworthy opponents at 135 pounds either, except for a past his prime Yuri Arcus Gamboa who managed to stagger him. Joel Diaz, the trainer for Israil Madrimov, asserts that Terence Crawford will experience Madrimov's power firsthand. Diaz believes it's a misstep for anyone to expect Crawford to face Canelo Alvarez next. He argues that Crawford's upcoming opponent Mimir is no ordinary contender and presents a significant challenge, especially with their fight scheduled for August 3rd. A lot of boxing enthusiasts might not be acquainted with Mov, as he's relatively unfamiliar to them. In contrast, the 36-year-old Crawford is a well-known figure, having been featured frequently on ESPN throughout his impressive 16-year career. People choose to go with those they know and see Madrimov the unknown as the prop that Crawford is going to knock over, because he is the known commodity. When fans become accustomed to their favorites' constant victories, they start to believe that success is a given, no matter the weight class or rival. Crawford, now at 36, has reached the peak of his potential, and Madrimov is poised to reveal the cracks in his age and abilities now in front of him. He has a younger fighter, strong fighter, and very disciplined, said trainer Joel Diaz to the Snow Queen LA YouTube channel, talking about Israil Madrimov ahead of his fight against Terence Crawford. Crawford has grown impulsive, driven by the lure of a big payday from a fight with Canelo Alvarez. He's in a hurry, lacking the luxury of gradually adjusting to the 154 pounds division, a common practice for fighters returning after a year-long hiatus and nearing retirement age like Crawford. His Excellency Turkey Aloshik expressed a strong desire for Crawford to face Madrimov, and Crawford couldn't afford to decline, especially since Aloshik holds the key to a potential Canelo bout in 2025. Consequently, Crawford is stepping up to the challenge, taking risks that a fighter of his age and with 4 years of inactivity typically wouldn't, driven by the necessity of securing the Canelo opportunity. Crawford dodged a bullet when Turkey didn't challenge him to face David Benavidez or David Morrell at 168. Those matchups would have been electrifying, and Crawford, unable to refuse Turkey's request, would have found himself in serious trouble against such formidable punchers. Diaz said about Madrimov, when he's in the ring, he's very complicated. You can watch a video of Israil and give yourself an opinion, but it's totally different when you're in the ring with him. It's very complicated. M's unpredictability stems from the unconventional angles he uses when delivering his punches and his aggressive approach. Despite having fought Eastern European opponents before, Crawford has never encountered a fighter Madrimov's unique style and exceptional power. Diaz added, when he's in the ring, he's in great control. I've seen him in the ring spar Dmitry Bivol when he was getting ready for Canelo. I was amazed. This kid is a 154 pounds and he's sparring 175 pounder, and he's doing great. I don't know if Bivol was going easy on him or not, but that sparring looked great. Dmitry Bivol isn't known for his imposing size in the light heavyweight division, which might clarify why the robust Madrimov was able to stand his ground. Madrimov's physique is similar to that of Canelo Alvarez, which could have been an advantage in his bout with Bivol. The power behind Madrimov's punches likely made Bivol cautious, as he couldn't afford to throw combinations recklessly without risking a counterattack. Diaz said that motivates me to see Israil step in the ring against Terence Crawford. His youth, his ability to move, and when he hits, he hurts. I know. In that fight, there's going to be exchanges, and anything can happen to get that victory. Should Madrimov emerge victorious against Crawford, it will be intriguing to see whether he's the one slated for the Canelo bout. Allowing Crawford to rebound into a Canelo fight following a defeat wouldn't reflect well, as it might seem like he's being rewarded for his shortcomings, which is contrary to the usual standards of success and merit, as per Diaz. I know there's a lot of plans for Terence Crawford to fight Canelo. You can't count on that. Let this fight happen. They're not stepping in the ring with an average fighter. This guy Madrimov is a world champion with his experience. Anything can happen after this fight on August 3rd. They're going to know who Israil Madrimov is. Crawford insists he's focused solely on his upcoming bout with Madrimov, rather than eyeing a potential clash with Canelo. However, it's difficult for him to ignore the lucrative prospects of a Canelo fight. The enormous financial rewards seem to be the primary motivation behind his decision to move up to the 154B division. Israil Madrimov disclosed that he and his team have identified vulnerabilities in Terence Crawford's performance that they plan to capitalize on during their fight. Madrimov is confident that his extensive experience will more than compensate for his fewer professional bouts as he aims to overcome the seasoned Crawford. Madrimov says he's had over 300 amateur fights, 200 of them from international competition experience. While Madrimov might be more experienced than Crawford and has faced better opposition, Madrimov points out that Crawford has faced numerous opponents who were past their prime by the time he squared off with them. While Madrimov doesn't specify which fighters he's referring to, it's clear that these individuals likely represent the faded talents Crawford took advantage of these fighters make up 25% of Crawford's resume.